Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for stopping by tonight. We are going to be painting some red stiletto high heel shoes. I did this example and recorded it, but I wanted to change a few things, so I decided to go ahead and do a secret live show here on Friday night. We're not normally on Fridays. We usually do our live shows on Saturdays, so this will be posted live on Saturday, or posted for the public on Saturday, but tonight we are doing a special preview show here. And I'll be painting it with you. I've got my husband Mark here with me.
Hey everybody.
And probably a skeleton crew folks watching, but it'll be fun. This is we posted this on our social media, so now we know who's really paying attention.
We'll have the usual suspects with
That's
us
right.
tonight.
Good. I've got my friend Cinnamon Cooney doing a live. She's been doing a marathon live all day, so I think she's still filming right now. So we're kind of overlapping a little bit with her, but that's all right. So this is the example, and I went ahead and enlarged it and put it on a 12 by 16 inch board here, and decided to go ahead and prep it with a coat of white and black, and I just kind of mixed them together messily, but I missed a couple spots, so I'll kind of show you what I did, and you can use this on your entire board. So probably 1 part black to 4 parts white, something like that. I went a little bit darker than my example piece because I felt like it was a little bit washed out looking, so oops, and that's light there, so even a little bit more black. And I'm not blending it completely. If you can see, I've kind of got streaks in it, and I sort of like that look. If you want yours to be a solid gray, you can do that too. Just whatever color works for you. You could even do your shoes in a different color, or background in a different color, whatever you'd like. I just kind of thought the red and black and white looked kind of sophisticated, sort of classy New Year's Eve classic. I was going to do black Louis Vuitton, like with red soles, black shoes with red soles, and then I saw a tutorial with that exact. It was on a blog though, it wasn't a video, but still I was like, darn it, she beat me. So.
Oh, I thought it was because I wouldn't let you borrow mine to use as an example.
That too.
Okay.
Oh gosh, you're a mess.
People are already asking what Stickman's going to get tonight, so this might
He's
be
totally
interesting.
getting some stilettos.
He's
You know
getting some
that. I don't know.
stilettos.
The question is where. Are we putting it on his feet, or are we putting them on the antlers? I've had suggestions for both. So.
On the antlers.
like he's had a wild night. Just putting some random streaks of dark here and there. You could even do that bokeh effect. That's if you've watched some of the other YouTube videos out there lately, they've been having these things where you do these dots of different colors. So you could do varying shades of gray with the little circular foam dots up in this corner. I think that would look cool too. I just didn't want to copy anybody, so. All right. I'm going to go ahead and kind of put in a little bit of my shadow too that's going to be underneath my shoes. Well, maybe I'll wait. I'll wait because I haven't even drawn them yet. Guess it would help to do that first. Well, I have, but I haven't shown you how to, so I'm going to go ahead. Not that you're going to draw. Are you going to draw them?
I could try it over here.
Dare you? That'd be awesome. Oh my goodness. All right, so that's good enough. I just had a couple of patches, but you get the idea. So you would just kind of fill your entire canvas with that sort of, I don't know, impressionist style, leaving your brush strokes showing. I think it's just kind of fun. You could even do it like sort of like we did the deer painting, where you kind of do little squares of color. I see another spot I missed. little squares of color. That's going to bug me. Sorry. And I already cleaned out my brush. So
Stay focused.
stay focused. Well,
Stay focused.
it was too dark. Weird.
Okay.
Okay.
1 hour later, still fixing the background.
Still fixing the background. Yeah, exactly. All right. So the stilettos aren't hard to do. You just kind of have to know sort of the physics of it, I guess, or how to do it. So the first thing I did was draw my horizon line or whatever they're going to be sitting. And these ones are exactly matching up. So, you know, I mean, you could have one higher than another, but in my photo reference, they're matching. So they're on the same plane here. I say that, but now that I'm looking at this, hold on. Let me look at my reference photo because mine in here did it differently than I drew it today. Let me see. It is different. Oh, this is on the same plane. So I did it wrong. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. Well, that makes sense because this wouldn't be up higher than that. Okay, so this has to come down here. Well, that's actually probably a good mistake to have done. So this is going to be...
This is learning how to fix your mistakes with Angela Anderson.
Live.
Live.
All right, so this is going to be my line here. None of this is right. I'm just going to take a wet rag and wipe that off. So both of the heels are hitting this line, and then this shoe is also going to hit that line because that makes sense because it's completely sideways. So this and this will be on the same plane. This one, the back of the shoe is showing up a little bit higher. So it's just up a little high. I guess it just depends on how high you want the heel to be. I don't think that there's any right or wrong way. It's just kind of I don't know, maybe about an inch higher than. Let me see if I can put that to the side there so you can see it. Probably not. I should have taken a picture of that. Too late. Okay, so I did my line here, right, all the way across because I want this to be straight. So I need this and this all to match up. Straight across here. So that's the bottom of this shoe. Then I did my vertical lines in the middle of the heel. So this one goes straight up the middle to the top of where I want that heel to end. And I kind of left about the same space at the top and bottom of my canvas. So I need to move this so I can see what I'm doing on my camera. There we go. And then curve it down on either side. And then I kind of just drew a big sort of circular shape. So that's the back of the heel shape. And then cut in. So this is where it's going to curve down here. You're going to see the sole of the shoe right up next to it, right here. This line right there. Here, I'll do this side by side like this. That way you can see it. There we go. So then I want to, none of this is going to show. So all of this is going to get erased. But you kind of want this sort of bulbous thing going on at the back of the heel so that that's the right shape for you. Then this is going to angle almost straight down. It comes in just a little bit and then flares back out right here. And then curves around. This is flat at the bottom here. And then it curves up there. This part is a little bit wider than this. So This and this are a little bit wider, so just make sure that you're kind of widening out this bottom part. This will be your more narrow area. I don't think I'm explaining this very well. I'm sorry. Then you're going to do this kind of a semicircle right here. And then the sole is going to come down from that on either side. So this shape here is kind of an hourglass shape right there. That's what you're going to want on your shoe. And then this will curve back in here and here. And then the heel will come in and then just narrow down on your center line on either side of your center line. And I think we're going to use tape. I didn't use tape in my example, but I think it'll be a little bit more perfect if we use tape. So let me move to this one. Gosh, I'm glad I found that mistake. That shoe would have looked so weird. It would have been like, how does she walk in that, right? Oh my goodness. And I left just a little bit of space, but I kept them pretty close together. So maybe a finger's width or so. And then the back of this one is another straight line down, and I used my ruler to make sure I got a good straight line, and then I did another straight line here. And then this and this line are going to match up. So you need to be sure that you check that, because the back of this heel and this one are at the same level. And then the same at the top, here and here. Now this line is going to curve in quite a bit, and it'll be, don't put it right over the heel. So it'll be about, maybe halfway from this curve. Not even halfway, really. It's pretty far away from it. So this curve is like this. This goes straight down, and then wherever you want your heel to curve in here at the top, just give yourself a nice curve and angle this down. Then this is going to come all the way down to this line that we did, that I didn't do before. And this is going to kind of mirror it a little bit. It'll come in and then it'll narrow just a little bit right in here. This will be a little bit more narrow than up in here, the width. Depends on the women's shoe. So some shoes will have a different shape, but this one is kind of that classic stiletto. It comes up off the horizon line right here. So you're going to come straight for a little bit and then angle it up slightly. I will have a traceable for this because this is, kind of a little bit more, I don't think it's particularly difficult, but it does just, you kind of have to do it step by step. So, and keep checking your angles. This is going to kind of do a teardrop shape right here. And then curves down like that. Hope that makes sense. So not too bad. And I might even make the toes a little bit longer. I feel like that toe box is a little narrow. So I might make the angle here a little bit steeper so that they have more sole to walk on. And just narrow it right here. There we go. Okay, that looks good. I'm just using regular old chalk. If you want, you can use watercolor pencil or pastel pencil, whatever works for you. Just whatever is easiest. Just something that's kind of water soluble that'll easily wipe off if you make a mistake. I like to use the chalk because you can adjust it really easily. I feel like this does not need to come up that high. There we go. It's a sexy shoe. That'd be killer to walk in. Can you imagine? Oh my goodness.
No, not me.
Not you.
No.
One of my members posted her closet. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
She had a ton of these shoes. That was awesome.
How many inches are those heels?
Oh, let's see. Now, of course, these are like mammoth. These are 5.5 inches. So
5-inch stiletto
but
heels.
of course, this shoe itself is way bigger than an actual woman's foot would be. So because of the size of the canvas, this one's probably closer to real size. So this one is, let's see, 4 inches.
4 inch. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's probably more normal sized. All right. I really wish, let me zoom out a little bit. Maybe. Well, no, that's all right. I'll just set that up there and pull this down a little bit so you can see a little bit of it. Or maybe I'll just put it side by side while I'm painting. I'm trying to figure out how to do this with, I didn't do the picture in picture. I've been on vacation. Give me a break here. I've been procrastinating as much as I can this week, just trying to really squeeze out every second of puzzle time that I possibly could find. My son gave me a puzzle. I'm sorry, I'm putting out some glazing medium. Oh, didn't want to open. For Christmas, that's like the hardest puzzle ever. It's a Monet, of course, and he's got all these little tiny dots. So nothing is actually makes sense. There's no hard edges to be able to match up. It's all just little random dots, and it's taking forever.
It's a 2,000 piece puzzle, and I found one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And I gave up.
I'm close to giving up. I've been on it 4 days now, and it is not doing, it's kicking my butt. Okay, I've got different reds here. Like I said, you could use whatever colors you want. I'm using kind of an orangey, well, Cadmium Red Medium is sort of in the mid-range, but it's a little bit on the orange side, and then Cadmium Red Deep is more on the purple side. So if you don't have these colors, you can just use kind of a more orangey red and a more purpley red, or just add a little bit of purple to your other red, and it'll kind of darken it up. But we're just going to go ahead and start painting. And I'm using a 3/8 inch angle brush here. And I really kind of want to leave that seam a little bit exposed there, so I don't want to cover it too much. We doing good on questions? I hope I explained that drawing very well. I felt like I was rambling. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I did all right.
There's,
all right.
there's been no questions.
Good. All right.
Well, let me double check. Well, the one question we've already answered, if you've finished the puzzle yet. Or no.
Oh, not even close. Yeah. I mean, not even. I'm getting to the point now where I'm resorting to, I've sorted them all the pieces by size and shape.
You've taken the engineer approach.
I have. It's not even by, I like to do them by color and stuff, but no, not with this one. It's just, they're all the same color. Doesn't work. So yeah, I'll let you know next week if it's gone. We may not have a kitchen table for a few weeks if this keeps up. It may. I'm just going to grab a little bit of that darker red and just do that line down the center with the darker red while I got it. Just pressing my brush flat and using the liner as right on its edge, or not the liner, the angle brush right on its angle edge. There, let's go ahead and outline this too. Actually, I think that's probably a good idea. Let's just outline it. Then we can see our shape a little bit better. There we go. There's only a teeny tiny bit of this red showing on this other side here, right here. So it doesn't have to be very wide. So I'm using the edge of my angle brush just to kind of adjust my line size. If I press down a little bit harder, it'll widen out and give me a thicker line. could use your number 4 round or something like that if you want to when you get into these tighter areas. It's whatever you're comfortable with. I tend to like to use the largest brush that I can fit in a particular area. It seems to make the painting go faster. So this one just kind of angles down here to where that meets up with the sole. Comes to kind of a point right there. I'm going to bring this in just a little bit. There we go. One side down. This wasn't a very long painting. It took me about an hour to do the example, so I'm thinking that it'll slow me down a little bit to explain it, but, or, you know, explain it live, and depending on if we have any questions, but shouldn't be too terribly long.
Somebody's asking somebody else in chat, how do they like the goldfish crackers? So I'll keep you posted on the answer.
Goldfish crackers?
Yeah. I mean, they're just asking each other questions, so.
Okay. We should.
That's the only questions that I've got right now.
So nothing for me.
Uh-oh. The person didn't taste them yet.
I did taste Mona's chocolate that she sent me, her dark chocolate that she sent me all the way from Sweden, and it was delicious.
Oh, wait a minute. I haven't got any of that yet.
I know. You need to go get some. I've been telling you.
Oh, I'll be right back. Hold on.
Mark's going to do a taste test on the air. We got so many cookies and things in our stockings. He's just been kind of going through his stash. Okay, this is narrowing down here. I feel like I made it a little bit wider than it needed to be right here, but I think it's all right. Hope you can see that. Here, show the package on the air again. Ooh.
Yummy.
I know. Dark chocolates is the best. She knew that we like dark chocolates. So she even though she likes milk chocolate, she sent us dark chocolate. Thank you, Mona.
It even says on the package. Okay.
That's how you know it's delicious.
So everybody can hear the wrapper opening up here.
I know. Okay, so I'm going to use tape on the heels here. I've got this very thin tape. Sorry, I'll tape it while you're. You could use this painter's tape too. I would just let this dry first, but I'm going to use this more narrow artist tape here and tape this off and just make sure you get it exactly straight. So you could even use your. I'm going to use my ruler here in a second just to make sure that I get it not straight. It needs to come over just a little bit. Okay, let me put it on this side of it, and that way I'll know. There we go. Press it down nice and hard. I'm going to make these heels nice and thin, so. What are you thinking? What's the...
I'm not going to talk with my mouth full.
Okay, good idea. I can hear you over there chomping down. Okay, I think that's about good. I want this middle line to be right in the middle of that, so I might have to wipe off my chalk and just make sure that...
It reminds me, well, it is excellent chocolate for sure.
Yes, it is.
But I was looking at it.
It's good.
And it's 44% cocoa.
Oh.
And it reminds me of our Valentine's adventure.
Yeah. I think I've told that story before.
In Paris.
A long time ago, yes. Yes, when we thought we were being so sophisticated and bought ourselves some dark chocolate.
Yeah, it
got
was
the
like,
darkest we could find.
It was like 86% or 90%.
No, it was 90. It was like 99% or 90%.
Pretty high.
Yeah.
And we didn't realize that means it has absolutely no sugar. Or anything.
Nothing
and
yummy.
we just looked at each other and spit it out.
So bad.
So we learned that that isn't always the best thing.
Right. Dark.
It's good to
There's
cook
a
with.
limit to how dark you want to go
Right. Eating it out of the package.
in life and in chocolate. It's a good life lesson.
Yes.
All right, so I'm just going to make sure that's nice and pressed down there. I went a little higher than I needed to go, but that's all right. I'm just going to fill that in. My red paint. Trying not to push too much that direction with the paint because you can kind of try to stuff it underneath the tape if you do that. So I'm kind of going up a little bit. Right, it's looking good. Go right up next to that dark line, but I'm not going over it. Nice thing about these angle brushes is you can kind of get in these little tight spaces. I'll go right down to that and then I'll take my tape off here. Oh, look at that. Fancy. Perfectly straight stiletto heel. And then I'm just going to curve it in right here. If your paint's getting sticky, just add a little water, or you can grab some of that glazing medium too. Not too much of the glazing medium at this point though, because we're wanting this to go on nice and opaque, solid. And don't let the paint under the tape dry before you tear it off, because it can peel the paint off. So paint it and then tear it right back off immediately. I've learned that the hard way. We're all about helping you not to do the same mistakes that I've done. Mm-hmm. That's all. I've been painting for 28 years, I guess, close to 30, and I've done all the wrong things. So
Made a few mistakes along the way.
I know what to tell you not to do. All right, that's looking good. I think I might make that, I don't know, we'll see. I might thicken that up just a little bit right here. I feel like it's kind of, there we go. Looking at my picture here, it's a little bit more gradual. There we go. All right, let's do, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this one. I'll do it up here like that. This part is the kind of boring part because you're just sort of filling it in. So there's not really a whole lot of excitement going on right now. So, yeah. How are we doing? Did everybody find their way to the show okay that's watching with us live?
Yeah, we got about 100 people watching right now.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's more than I thought would be able to find us.
Oh, ye of little faith.
Well, you know, I mean, it was a link-based thing. You had to have the ticket to get in, so you had to find the link. And that kind of made it hard to. But I don't really know why. We should have just moved it to Friday. It didn't really matter if we do it on Saturday. I just felt like I have to have my videos on a regular schedule, so we'll have this go live on Saturday.
Well, not live. It'll go recorded.
Well, recorded. This show will go public, I should say.
Public. Yes. That's more.
public. Well, I say when I upload my videos and I call it going live, but I didn't. That's not. Us in the biz have certain words that we use, honey. So just
Okay, I'll try to keep up.
okay. Thank you. The lighting is not great again tonight.
And if everybody's wondering, I did do the blow drying pre-show.
He did.
So I did post a GIF of you doing my job for me. I filed a complaint to the union.
Yep.
And we might be hearing from Charlie later on. You do what you do best.
That's true.
I'll do what I do best.
Well, it's taking forever with my little bitty hair dryer because I kind of put the paint on thick.
So you need a professional with a professional
I needed
grade.
a professional crew to come in with his professional hair dryer to fix it for me.
That's right.
Thank you. Mark is my official hair dryer. We've got Charlie, who's our member of our Thankful Art group, who got a hair dryer for Christmas just so that he could blow dryer along with us. That's awesome. He has his very own hair dryer. He's part of the men's hair drying club, or official, men's art. I don't know. We'll have to come up with a name for you dudes that are into the hair drying. Takes skills. I need to paint my hair dryer. Ginger Cook did her hair dryer looking like Starry Night, and I want it so bad. Like if it ever goes missing, just saying. And I happened to have traveled to Houston at that particular time, it might have been me. Or I could just paint mine. All right, just filling in. These are some massive shoes. I almost did this on a smaller canvas because I thought this might look weird, but it's not. I don't know. I mean, I could see this in a hairdressing salon or in your, if you have a girls' night out, this would be a fun paint party, project to do with girlfriends. Alrighty, so that's there, and then I need to put the tape on this heel. This heel is a little bit wider because you're seeing it from the side. Well, actually in the picture though, it's not too much wider, so I'm trying to figure out where I put that without. I'm so excited to be able to use my new art tape. I just got this thinner stuff, so this is really cool. I got this on Amazon. I need to post a link to it if I didn't already. It's already got lint all over it though. Okay. Sorry. I kind of figured. Okay.
Well, you just have artist tape in your description, but you don't have a link
Okay.
to it.
All right. Well, I'll put the link to the one that I bought.
But we do appreciate everybody who's been using the links to purchase from Amazon. It does help out Angela and her channel. So
it definitely does.
Even if you're not purchasing art supplies.
Yeah, if you just go to Amazon from my links, it'll credit my account. So even if you don't buy the art stuff that's on there, it'll. Yep, that's awesome. We do appreciate that. Every little bit helps, and we appreciate those who've donated to us this year to help keep our channel going. It's been a really great year. We've really had such nice support from our community of artists. Somebody started the trend to calling our followers Angela's angels. Which I absolutely love, because Cinnamon has her Sherpettes, and somebody posted something in the Angelini group that I share with her and said, okay, Sherpettes and angels. And I was like, what? And Cinnamon sent me a note. She's like, I cannot believe this hasn't been a thing. This is so awesome. I was like, I know, me too. So I don't know who came up with that, but it was pretty awesome. So I think we're going to use it this year coming up. All right, I need to make sure that this and this are equal. So I'm just setting it up against the side here. If you have a T-square, which I probably need to have one, I just don't. That'd probably be ideal because then you'd really make sure that you had it exactly square to the edge, but I'm just using my fingers. Okay, there we go. Let's fill in this heel. These are like dagger heels, I'm telling you. These could hurt somebody.
And that's where they got their name from.
Stiletto?
Yes, it is.
Because it's a knife?
Yeah, it is. A stiletto is a knife.
Oh, yeah. Clever.
It's not the actual length of the heel, it's the shape, and it gets its name from,
well, aren't you?
From the knife.
Wow. Stiletto blade. Oh, well, that makes sense. Learn something new.
Well, there's this thing out there called Google and Wikipedia.
Uh-huh.
And they have some information out there.
Nice.
Yeah. And so that's what I just learned about 10 minutes ago.
Very good. Good job.
And the phrase was...
type with your fingers.
Yeah, the phrase was first recorded back in the early 1930s. So, don't know if that's true, but that's what the internet says, so we'll go with that.
1930s, huh? I would think that that's probably when they first started making them like that. I don't think I've ever seen older shoes with this kind of height before.
Well, and then also that stiletto style heels that are 2 inches or shorter are called kitten heels.
Oh, cute. Okay, this got a little bit out of the line. So that's one of the other good things about doing this while the paint's wet, because you can kind of you could use a damp brush to do this too. I'm just like using my wet rag there and just cleaning that up where it went outside the line a little bit. So that's a kitten heel, is a shorter stiletto. Is that what you're saying to me?
Yes, it's under 2 inches is a kitten heel.
Ah, okay.
We do have an art-related question.
Okay.
We are 40 minutes into the show.
Nice.
And so here we go. It is, could you give a little bit of information on glazing medium? What is it? What does it do?
Yes. Glazing medium is, we'll take your paints and you can use it kind of like an extender. It's a really great multi-purpose tool. So it will take your acrylics and make them a little bit easier to blend. So I could have used it on my background and given myself a little bit more working time with my paints so that they won't dry quite as quickly. It also, what I'm going to be using it for is I'm going to be putting my dark color in with it, and it will thin out my paints if I use quite a bit of it. And you can use as much glazing medium as you want, I believe. You don't have to, like with extenders, or acrylic extenders, you have to use only a certain percentage. But with these, I don't believe that it doesn't say anything about only using a certain percent of it. You can use as much of that glazing medium as you want with your paints, and it'll just make thinner and thinner washes. Of course, if you're using it to extend your paint, you don't want to use all that much because you don't want to thin your paint colors out, but it just makes them more transparent. So we'll be doing it with our shading, and that way it'll give our shading a little bit of transparency. We'll see this red underneath, and here I'm going to use this dark red right here just to kind of do that heel separation right there. All right. Well, when I first did my example, I only used black, white, and Cad Red Medium. And the shadows here just seemed a little bit harsh to me. I didn't really like the color that was happening with the red mixed with Cad Red Medium. So that's why I went ahead and went with the purpley red. I was trying to keep this down to 3 colors, but it just didn't quite do what I wanted it to do. It didn't look as good as it could, so I figured it's just better. We'll just add but you could, instead of doing this color, you could mix red with with a little bit of black and make a darker red. That's what I did with the original example. So if that makes sense. Let's go ahead and put in our black around the heel. Here again, you can tape off your heel if you want to. I'm not going to this time since I already showed you how that's done, but
A follow-up question to the glazing medium.
Yes.
What if you were able to paint over the painting with the glazing medium? Would it give a sheen or a shine to it?
Yeah, it is a little bit shiny, but it's not like a varnish, so I wouldn't use it as my final coat. But it's a good isolating coat, so if you, you can use any kind of gel mediums for that, but if you want a little separation between your undercolors, but mainly it's for if you're layering your colors quite a bit and you want thin washes over the top, then you can add a little bit of this glazing medium and it'll keep your layers from lifting, because if you add too many wet layers, if you add too much water to your acrylic paints, they don't bind very well. And especially if you add multiple layers of the washes on top of one another, they can lift the under layers when you add the new layer on top. So that prevents that from happening by using a little bit of the glazing medium. Or you can I use airbrush medium as well. Airbrush medium is much more like water. Glazing medium gives it a little bit of slickness. So sometimes I don't like to have that slickness. I want it to kind of act more like water. And if I want it to be more fluid like water, this airbrush medium is just about like water. So it's really similar. And it does make your paints stick to the canvas really well. Just using the angle brush to go right up against that edge there. And it'll get right in that little corner. Okay. I like carbon black because it's got a little bit of a sheen, but you can use any black. If you don't have carbon black, you don't have to go out and buy it. Mars Black works too. So, but this one's a golden color. I don't know if they have it in Liquitex. I don't think they do. Or if they do, I don't own it in Liquitex. I have the Liquitex color chart over there. I probably could look it up.
Do you want me to look it up?
Yeah, it's all right. So just filling that in really carefully. And you could tape, like I said, you could tape the bottom, you could tape any of this. Don't feel like you're cheating to tape it off. I mean, if you're a beginner, I'm saying use all of the tools in your arsenal that will help you have a good result. And, practice, but, when you're coming down to doing something like this and you're not comfortable with painting straight lines, don't feel like you have to do it perfect. Use whatever you need to give you good results. Trace it, whatever. Oops, I got it on there. Use my wet rag to wipe that out. Okay, now I'm just making it worse. it up. Clean up on aisle 2.
That doesn't look like a happy mistake.
It's fine. It went away real fast. If you see any white spots where you missed, you can go back in now. I've got a little few little areas where, especially on the edge there, where I kind of missed. This one's a little bit more clean style, but if you want to make it a little bit more impressionist, that's kind of what I did on this one. I did it more freehand. You can see my line's a little bit wobbly, but it really doesn't matter. You get the effect. So just whatever style you want. You can do this a little bit more loosely with you if you just do it by brush and don't use your tape and stuff. Okay, there's a little tiny bit of the black sole that peeks right from underneath here where this heel ends. Start it very thin. Go right up against the edge there. I'm going to wipe off my chalk just because it's interfering with my paint a little bit. There we go. Too wet. Have to put out some more black. This is really the hardest part of it. So this part, and then the last little bit is going to go really fast. Filling it in is the part that kind of is a little bit tedious, but once we get it, the bare bones in, all we're going to have to do is add a few little shadows and highlights and we'll be done. So it kind of thickens out right here a little bit, just very slightly, and then it thins out again to very, very tiny. And just, you can switch to a liner brush if you want to. At this point, I'm kind of pressing my number 4 round flat so that it kind of gives me a flat edge to get a very thin line here. I'll bring it around the bottom. And bring it up just a little bit, but it doesn't have to go all the way to the toe. It's kind of, in my picture, the toe, this part was like red. So, all right, let's put a little bit of this black at the bottom of these heels. So I'm just going to take off just a little chunk of that red heel and put this little bit of black right there. And the same thing here, just try to get them about the same width. There and there. And they can be a little tiny bit wider than the bottom of the heel, just they usually kind of stick out a little bit on either side. All right. Then the middle part of the shoe is also black. My picture had it flesh toned, but I decided to go with the black because I liked it better. So taking artistic license here. I need more paint.
Okay, we got a question about the glazing medium again.
Okay.
Asking, does it keep the paint from underbinding?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying with the layers, you know. If you do multiple layers with it, you can use a glazing medium and it won't lift.
And I have no idea what underbinding means.
It just means that if you add too much water to your acrylic paints, it won't bind to your canvas. So it means underbinding, is just the technical term for that. It won't stick to your canvas. Where the molecules in acrylics have to have enough of the polymer medium that makes them stick together. That's what kind of makes the paint. You've got the polymer and then you've got the pigment, and you have to have enough of the polymer to make it stick to the canvas. If you wet it down too much, the polymers, the molecules don't stick. Does that make sense? It kind of breaks down the chemical properties of the paint. And I honestly did not know that. Craft paints don't have the same problem with that because they're mostly polymer. So you can water those down pretty well. But when you get to the professional quality paints, they're more pigmented. So you can't do some of the same kind of floating things that I used to do with the craft paint. You're really not supposed to do with acrylics, heavy potty acrylics. It doesn't work that well anyways. You need a lot of water to thin them down. Okay, I think we're good. I'm going to take my light wet rag and just kind of carefully clean off my chalk.
Do you know if airbrush medium would do the same thing?
That's what I just showed. I just showed it.
Oh, okay. Well, somebody. I'm sorry. I was reading the questions.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I just showed that.
Okay, so there we go.
Okay. Well, obviously somebody just came in.
They're gonna see that now. And
okay. Sorry. That's funny. They probably didn't hear you ask me.
Oh, well, no, actually, they asked the question as airbrush medium, but I thought they meant glazing medium, so
I see.
said glazing medium, and they came back and
see.
said, no, we mean, no, they wanted to know about the airbrush, so I said, okay.
Got it. No, but I did, you can use the airbrush medium, just like you would the glazing medium. And it acts more like water. It is more of a water feel to it. It doesn't have the same slickness as the glazing medium. So it I don't know. I like it a little bit better for certain things. So
Okay.
for washes, I like to use airbrush medium. For
Even though we're not doing airbrushing.
right.
Okay.
Well, because it's basically solid polymer. That's all it is. It's the binder. That's all. It's 100% acrylic polymer dispersion. So it's the stuff that binds it to the canvas. And glazing medium, I think, is about the same. Acrylic polymer immersion. All it does is it's just a different viscosity. So this is a little bit thicker than the airbrush medium, but it's the same stuff.
Okay, next question is, a person is having trouble blending their colors on the mixed media paper. Do you have any advice?
Yes, with the mixed media paper, it's going to go on. You're going to need a little bit more water with your paint because it's going to soak in all the moisture off of your brush. So when you're, whoops, I just got water all over my canvas. Nice. I'm trying to get my hands clean here. I'm going to switch to a 1/4 inch flat. And you can use a bright too if you want to. That'll work as well. What was the question?
They're having a hard time mixing colors on the mixed media.
Right. Well, yeah. Once you get your first layer of paint down, it won't be as bad. It's just that paper layer that causes issues. So what you could do is just paint the background with a solid color like white, and then, or even gesso it if you're really having issues, and then it'll create a little bit of barrier between the paper and your paint, and then it won't have the same issues. So does that make sense?
Okay, it's because of the paper is absorbing
Right.
the base color first, and so there's not enough for it to mix with the other paint that you're
Right.
adding. Okay.
Right. I got a little bit of black in there. Did not mean to do that. Just put my glazing medium over on this side. I put it out too soon. Okay. And I probably could have waited on my dark color too. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of the glazing medium just to thin out the dark color a little bit. It'll just help it not be so stark against the red, and we can just see kind of how it goes. But I'm going to start adding some shadows. So some of them I can do almost straight dark red. There's kind of a triangular shape right here. This will help it kind of blend into the shoe. Do I need to move this? Is it causing a glare? I feel like it is. Let me put it something under it so that it okay. Grab a little bit of the black and use a little tiny bit of the black right here. I'm just gonna tap it. Make sure your brush is pressed down nice and flat. We'll go ahead and use that kind of black with that color too. Make another little bit darker version with a little bit of the black mixed in with the Cad Deep.
We have another question asking if they don't have heavy body acrylics, is there any way to make a heavy body acrylic with?
Yeah, you can use heavy gel medium.
And mix it in with the paint?
Mm-hmm. Mix it in with your acrylic colors. Like that's what a lot of artists do is they'll get the fluid acrylics or the ink, even inks, and they'll add them to because those are just basically pure pigment almost. And you can mix them into your mediums because the mediums are just the thicker levels of the polymer. So just depending on how thick you want them to be. So there's all kinds of different levels of mediums, glazing, or acrylic mediums, gels, and fluids. So, all right, there's a shadow right in the middle here. It's just going to be a matter of sort of setting a little bit of contrast here and there. But I've got it pretty well thinned. You can see on my palette how you can sort of see through the dark color. That's sort of what you want it to look like.
Somebody's asking, is it just a preference of yours to use the heavy body versus another one? Another type?
The heavy body are just the what you kind of graduate to, I guess. They can do a lot of different things, and you can thin them down, of course, if you need them to. So I use the thinner paints though. Sometimes I have fluid acrylics too that I like to use. This one's going right in the middle there. For some things too. So it just depends on the project that I'm working on, but most of the time I just like heavy body because they cover really well. Although the professional quality, like golden fluid acrylics, I'm going to reach for it and hope my mic doesn't. These are really highly pigmented, and even though they're kind of thin like a craft paint, they are like double the potency of a craft paint, so they work really well. But yeah, you just use whatever you're comfortable with. Honestly, it doesn't really matter all that much. They don't, heavy body acrylics don't shift color. Most of them are very light, fast, but any of your professional paints are going to be like that. So just, yeah, it's a personal preference, I guess. Put a little bit down here. This front part is mostly light, so I think I'm keeping it away from there. I'm going to add some of the really, really dark just in a couple of places. Just to make it look kind of like it's, I don't know, folding or something. Right now it looks like it's dirty, but it'll look better once we get the highlights on there. Sorry I got mad at you, honey.
It's okay. It's not the first time.
No.
It won't be the last time.
No, it won't be. Won't be. Okay, let's put a little bit of it in along that heel, just slightly. Right, mixing up some more of the red and glazing medium. This whole side here has got a pretty good long dark area right there. I feel like I don't like the back of this heel, but oh well. I feel like this probably needed to come up a little higher. Actually, I probably can fix that. In fact, I will. I'm going to put the... Oh, but then I have to do it over here. Darn it. I think... Well... I guess I can't do that. Now I've got a big old thing right there. Just ignore that. I think I could have made this a little bit more narrow. I don't know. Something about it I don't like, but that's all right. Too late to know. Get a little bit of that black, and I'm just going to outline that back of the heel a little bit, very lightly. Okay, and then I'm going to use the brush. I've got the black on there, and I'm just going to tap along that back seam just to make it look kind of like stitches. Not super dark, not a solid line. All right, let's add some glazing medium. We'll get a little bit of darkness along that edge. There's a section right here that curves in. And then it curves down the heel a little bit, right there and right here. And I'm just really, you can't overblend with the glazing medium. So you kind of have to just sort of set it on there and don't fuss with it too much because they dry fairly quickly. Now I think I'm going to switch to golden. I'm using Liquitex, and I think golden glazing medium has a little bit longer working time. So I'm going to try it out and see if that's true. because this one tends to dry pretty quickly. And put a little bit of that shading on the heel, not too much because we're going to put a highlight right down the middle of it. And then there's some shading along that back seam too, kind of on either side of it. It's kind of fun because this is where it sort of starts to take some dimension. What time is it? Are we over an hour now?
We are 1 hour and 10 minutes.
Ooh, okay. And once it dries, you can put another layer over it right away. So it takes a little bit longer to dry, but not much. Okay. I think those are pretty good. I can add a little bit more later if I need to. I'll clean that out. I'm going to grab a little bit of black. I notice this has a dark black right there. Whoops, comes around the side. Very good. Okay, well, add a little bit of white to my black here. Grab a little bit of my glazing medium. Just making kind of a couple layers of gray, like a dark and a lighter gray. I'm going to wipe most of it off my brush because I'm just going to kind of dry brush sort of a little bit of, well, you can't really dry brush with glaze, but we're going to lightly brush on a little bit of this gray. Don't go right up to the edge with it so that you don't lose your black line. So don't go over the edge of your black right there. I'm coming right on the inside of it, just slightly. A little bit on either side there. Grab a little bit more black. I'm just going to blend it back in if I need to. I think it got a little dark there in a couple places. All right. Now, clean that out really well. I'm going to grab my white. And this time I'm not going to use glazing medium because I want it nice and bright. Well, I'll do both. I'll have some that's got glazing, but some that's going to be bright. This first part I'll just wipe down these chalk lines here. I got red over here somehow again. I did that on my last painting too. I hate when I do that. It's just like shows up magically in spots where I did not intend for it to be. A little bit more glazing medium out here. So I'll mix up a little tiny bit with the Cad Red and white and the glazing medium. I don't really want it to make it a pink, but the Cad Red has enough yellow tones in it that it won't make it like a pink. It'll be kind of an orangey color more than pink. All right, take off the extra, and then I'm going to use it here on the toe and just kind of swipe around the front there. Do some swipes around the toe upward. Do I need to zoom in here? I feel like it's kind of far away. Kind of an S shape right there. We're okay?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I won't be painting this, unfortunately. I'm too busy later on.
Okay, darn.
So we'll wait for chat to catch up, and they can
Okay.
tell me if they want to zoom in action.
Okay. A little bit down the heel. If you get too much of it, just grab some of your Cad Red and blend it back in over it while it's wet. There we go.
People don't really seem to mind if it's zoomed in or not, but
Okay.
they are reminding several times about Stickman.
Stickman? Okay.
So
All right.
we'll do it at the very, very end.
Yeah, we'll get him in there.
Keep everybody hanging on. That's, again, the real reason why they show up for
Exactly.
these
To
shows.
see Stickman.
Mm-hmm.
I almost said Stickman.
Shtick.
Which works too. Okay. Now there's a highlight right down the center a little bit. A little bit on that side. Sometimes I'm doing it flat, and then sometimes I'm just using the edge. So it just kind of depends on it, how wide I need my line to be. There's a little line right here. It's making it harder to get a straight line with me holding it like this. I want to lay flat. All right, so you can already see it's kind of already taken shape, especially this heel here. Now comes the magic. You ready for this? So now we're going to put in the white, bright highlight. It's like patent leather. So we'll brush on some streaks right there. Just 3 little brush strokes. One, we're using the edge right there. We'll come around there just a little bit.
That is magical.
Are you joking with me?
Well, you said here comes the magic,
It is
so
magic.
I'm watching from here.
It is. It's magic. So it starts out thick right here, and then I'm turning my brush down here so that I get a nice thin line. And I'm going to go right down. And you could do this part when you painted your heel if you wanted to while the tape was on there. You could do the highlight too, but it shouldn't be too bad. Doesn't have to be. There we go. Let's see, there's a little bit right here, a little bit right there. Looking at my reference picture here. And then there's some really bright right there and right here. Okay, and then on this side, there's not quite as much in my photograph. So, but I added a little bit up here and a little bit on the back side of this heel right here. Coming down. There's a little bit on the heel. I'm just going to use the edge of my brush there and there. Corner. And then there's this long streak that goes right down the middle of this one. do it quickly. It doesn't have to be the same shape exactly as mine, but the faster you do it, the more realistic it'll look. If you try to kind of go slow and do it perfect, it's a little bit harder to pull off. Do a little shine right there. I feel like it needs one right here, even though it's not in the picture. Okay, there we go. Maybe a little bit on the heel. Okay, look at that. Shiny all of a sudden. Isn't that fun? All right, so now I'm going to grab my angle brush and grab some glazing medium. Get this gray that I mixed up before here. This is kind of a, just want it a little bit darker than the foreground here, and it's probably too dark. Start out right up underneath your shoe here. You're going to do a shadow coming down. And then there'll be another shadow coming the same direction as this, like back this way. So, and then just pull this down. If you have too much paint on your brush, you can just wipe it off and then just kind of blend across with it to blend it out. You can grab a little bit of blending medium and just use that. But it can look kind of, doesn't have to be perfect. It can look a little bit streaky. Then we'll do some over here. There'll be one that comes straight down from underneath the heel. There we go. Underneath this heel there'll be a little bit, but most of it is just going to be this shape. It's kind of a mirror of that shape underneath. And I really could have done this before right after I drew it, before I painted the shoe, if you want to tell the truth. So, what are you laughing at over there?
Just the chat. Sorry.
You're just giggling.
It's nothing funny.
It's nothing funny. Oh, why are you laughing then?
Oh, we're just calling each other out on our typos.
Oh,
In
okay.
the chat.
I sound like I'm drunk when my autocorrect gets going. It's just bad. I typed a sentence to somebody today and sent it. It was on Messenger, so you can't get them back. You know, you can't like edit. And the chats are the worst because once it's there, you can't get it. You can't edit it. So I can't remember what it was I said, but my sentence made absolutely no sense. Just sounded like I was smoking something. I want to get a little bit darker right up next to it and just right underneath the shoe there. See? Presto. All right, I think we're done. What do you think?
No, we're not done.
Oh, we got Stickman. Okay, let me find him. He's on my... Oh, see, there's my first... You can see my progression of ideas here.
Don't give it away any secrets. Okay.
I'm not. I did all those already.
Okay, all right, just make sure.
So he needs some stilettos somewhere. Did they decide where they wanted them to go?
I can't remember that far back.
Okay. Put that off to the side there. This has gone a lot longer than I thought it would today. Sorry. Okay, I've got a small brush here. Got my number 2 round. We'll use that for the stilettos for him. This is Stickman. He's our unofficial mascot, and we bring him out every show and add something to him that pertains to whatever it is we're painting that day. So
when is he going to get respect and become the official mascot?
oh, that's true. He okay.
I mean, what does a guy have to do? I mean, is there like a tryouts or something? Or what?
Just for that, I think he's getting some shoes.
I mean, what are the other options for our mascot?
He's getting some shoes. Stickman.
Hey, he's man enough to wear them.
Should we hang one from up here? Might just need, like you kicked
It was a
one, I don't
really
know.
bad night if that happened.
I don't know exactly how I did that shoe. Weird like that. Doesn't look like a shoe. It looks more like a boot.
Looks like his heel broke.
Yeah, it does. That's all right. This is definitely not my best work. I guess I need to make them both going in the same direction for, for art's sake. Okay. Stickman. You will never live this down. Got a coffee mug from Saturday's or Tuesday's show.
It was a rough night. Got birds in his antlers and a cup of coffee.
Oh my gosh. He's awesome. All right.
That's great.
Thanks, guys. We really appreciate you. Hope you have a wonderful New Year's. Stay safe. And we really appreciate you watching us this year. It's been a fun year for us. And we will see you. And oh, please, yeah, give a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We've got lots of really cool things coming up. Next week, we're doing a 2-part series. We'll do coral on Tuesday night, a coral reef. And then on Saturday, we'll do a live show with Cinnamon Cooney, the art stripper. We're both doing mermaids. So we'll add a mermaid to the coral reef that we did on Tuesday night. So it should be a really fun 2-part series there. I've got pictures there. Those are not what we're going to be doing exactly, but they're from a mural that I did a few years ago. So that's all I had to reference. We'll use some of the references for the project, but it should be a lot of fun. So, oh, let me pull that back out so that's not the last thing they're seeing. No offense, Stickman, but all right. Thanks, guys. Have a happy and safe New Year's, and we will see you in 2017. Bye.